Hello, English 241 British Lit students. Welcome to week 6, module 6. You are almost to the end. Congratulations. This module, we're going to talk about Shakespeare and the sonnets. Again, sonnet is a 14-line poem. Has a alternating rhyme scheme of A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G. So let's dive right into it. Shakespeare's sonnets, identity, and also time. When most people think about Shakespeare, they think about the plays, swords, ghosts, drama, betrayals, big speeches, and people doing the most in public. The sonnets are a little different. They are Shakespeare on a smaller stage. There's no castles, there are no duels, no crowd. Instead, you get this speaker sitting with some big questions. What happens to us as time moves forward? Or how do we hold on to love? What makes a person feel valuable when life is changing fast? That's why these poems still hit hard today. Shakespeare was writing in a world that felt unstable, and honestly, that part is relatable. People worried about their reputation, they worried about aging, getting disease, their social status, and what would last after they were gone, their lasting legacy. The sonnets carry that anxiety. They are basically Shakespeare asking what actually matters when everything changes. Here's the first thing, major thing to remember. The sonnets are not diary entries. They are not Shakespeare grabbing a notebook and dumping his feelings out. Each one is built like a little argument. Shakespeare uses the sonnet form like a pressure cooker. There are 14 lines. There's a tight structure. There's strong rhythm. And inside that small space, he tests ideas, he changes directions, and he sometimes contradicts himself. That's not a mistake. That's the point. The sonnets often end with you thinking, not relaxing. A lot of these poems are obsessed with time, and time is not friendly here. Shakespeare treats time like a force that does not care about your future plans. It ages people, it ruins beauty, it destroys strength, and it makes everything temporary. There's no time heals all wounds type of vibe here. Time is more like, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for everybody. You see that clearly in Sonnet 12. Shakespeare uses images like clocks, fading daylight, and nature dying back. Everything that looks alive eventually starts to decline. The poem makes it hard to ignore the obvious truth that life moves forward and you can't stop it. The speaker hints that maybe children or poetry might help someone to live on, but even that hope feels fragile. Time is not defeated. If anything, it is only delayed. Then Sonnet 60 takes that same idea and makes it even more intense. Life is compared to waves that are rolling in and replacing each other on the shore. Once one wave is gone, the next one takes its place, and it never stops. That's a tough image because it suggests how easily individual lives can disappear into the larger movement of time. Shakespeare still tries to claim that poetry might preserve the meaning, but he does not totally trust that solution either. The sonnet gives you hope and then reminds you that hope does have limits. Shakespeare's not only worried about aging, he's also worried about identity and his social worth, which is basically the question, what makes me matter? That's where Sonnet 29 comes in. This is one of the most relatable poems in the set because it is basically the speaker saying, I feel like a loser today. He feels embarrassed, left out, jealous of other people's success, and generally low. What matters here is that his identity is not stable. It depends on recognition, on belonging, and on feeling valued. The turning point in the poem is the emotional connection. The thought of being loved changes how he sees himself. Not money, not status, love. Sonnet 73 also deals with aging, but it does something interesting. The speaker compares himself to a season moving toward winter, a day fading into night, and a fire burning down. The mood is sad, but it's not hopeless. Instead, the poem argues that knowing time is short can make love stronger. In other words, loss does not just destroy, it can also make people pay attention. It can make love more intense because you know you cannot take it for granted. Then we get Shakespeare thinking about what love even is. Sonnet 116 is his Love is Constant poem. It's the one people quote at weddings. I did it at my wedding. The speaker claims real love does not change just because things get hard for the lovers. It does not fade with time. It stays steady even when everything else continues to move. In a world where time is brutal, that's a bold claim. Love is presented as an anchor. But Shakespeare does not let that definition be the final word. Sonnet 130 does the opposite of traditional poetry. Instead of exaggerating the beloved into some perfect fantasy, he describes her realistically and even jokes about her. He's basically saying, I'm not going to lie and I'm not going to pretend. And the twist is that the poem still ends up defending love. It is not less love because it is honest. It is stronger love because it is honest. So, what all these sonnets add up to? Not one clean message. Shakespeare's not handing you a simple answer about time or love or identity. He's showing you how complicated it is to live in a world where your body changes, your reputation shifts, and your emotion swings, but nothing stays permanent. The speaker moves between confidence and doubt, hope and anxiety, idealism and realism, sometimes within the same poem. That's why these sonnets are worth your time. They do not settle for easy comfort. They push you to think. And when you're working on your writing, pay attention to how Shakespeare uses form and argument. The sonnets are short, but they are packed with information. If you read them slowly, you will see how much meaning he builds within the 14 lines. That's all I got for you this week. No writing assignment no reading response assignment this week as you're working on completing the major writing assignment number 2. Remember that there's a peer review forum there for you to get feedback from your classmates about your drafts. I would also suggest that you probably should reach out to the Jaguar tutoring portal. There are links available on the library website for you to use that. You can submit your writing assignment with the rubric and the writing prompt that I've given you back in module, I think, 4. And then get some feedback on your draft. Remember that it takes 2 days for them to get back to you. So if you're going to use that portal, you should use it before like Wednesday. All right. So if you got any questions, reach out to me. Grading is ongoing. I appreciate your efforts. I do want to remind you that the video journal posts are supposed to be your natural reactions to the reading. So you may have some notes that you refer back to, but I would like for you to tell me your responses to the reading, like what your natural responses are and how you came up with the ideas that you used in your writings. So when we get to that final video presentation, that it'll be just like a conversation between you and me about how your semester went. That's all I got for you this week. If you've got any questions, please reach out and I will talk to you soon. Thanks again.